Welcome back to another edition of Everything Football 62. I'm your host, John the Big Tex Johnson. This past week, as we well know, or this past Sunday, I should say, uh, we had the Giants versus the Raiders, which the Giants would lose 17 to 24. That also marked the first time that we all well know that Eli Manning was not. He was basically benched in favor of Geno Smith. Really had nothing to do with anything else aside from the coach McAdoo, and the general manager Jerry Reese, and their buffooneryism, if that is a word. Uh, Basically doing it had no really didn't make any sense, and even down to the Maras and whatever. I mean, you don't bench Eli Manning and whatnot. However, at the same time, and also in having said that, let's go through a few things of Eli Manning. First and foremost, he had that being benched after 210 starts, only basically second to that of Brett Favre. Basically, the only thing that's basically left, um, second to Brett Favre. Uh, he's won two Super Bowls, four Pro Bowls. Eli Manning, he's 8-4 in 12 playoff games that he's played. And like I said, with the two Super Bowls over the Patriots, over the vaunted Patriots, which is a team that his brother always had issues with, but Eli always found a way to win these games. Uh, Eli Manning was always pretty much spectacular in that of the four games that they basically won, because they always basically went in as almost like a wild card, and they had to play, but the four games out. So the two times. I mean, of course, he goes, eight. It goes 8-0. So Manning is he's definitely put in work and had some decent seasons and stuff and everything. But let's examine this a little bit closer though, because I've said this, and I mean, I've heard Skip Bayless say several times, "Good Eli, bad Eli," and that's the thing about Manning uh, that sometimes I think puts him on the bubble. But this season was just, they were supposed to be really good after going 11-5 last year, and it's so funny because that whole debacle with the receivers of Odell Beckham, Victor Cruz, and some of them other guys going partying after that of the last regular season win against the Redskins, or last regular season win. Even if they already knew they was basically in the playoffs, and they go off to Florida to go do all that stuff, and that right there wasn't a good look. But of course, at the same time, you think about the whole leadership aspect, or lack thereof leadership aspect, when it comes to the Giants, especially even when it comes to Eli, because he's always basically been questioned about that. That wasn't a good look. And then with Odell Beckham Jr. getting and hurt and getting hurt this past year, and Marshall getting hurt as well, and just injuries and just poor play in general. Okay, and of course with uh, McAdoo and just stuff just wasn't going on over there well at all. But I want to also do this here because we want to take all the good, but let's look at the bad aspect of everything with Eli Manning. And I would never have benched him, let him play it out. But it's getting to a particular point where it's like, okay, Giants is a particular known uh, organization, and Eli has brought them to Super Bowl championships. And I think he should retire there. I mean, he's the quarterback there until you find somebody. Because right now you don't have anything better there really with him now. That was really no reason to be benching him. But let's play. But let's go ahead and play these numbers here. Let's do this now. Since 2012, Eli Manning at the helm. 2012. Let's go there. 9-7, 7-9. Oh, let me go back. 2012, 9-7. 13, 2013, 7-9, 2014, 6-10, 2015, 6-10, 14, yeah, 2015, 6-10, 2016, 11-5, and thus far 2009, as of the game, the last game before that of the Raiders. Eli Manning as a starting quarterback, as at the helm, they are 41-50. 41-50, right? In that time frame, that's one playoff appearance in the past 6 years from 2012 up until now, because they're not going to the playoffs this year. One playoff appearance, and that was a loss to that of the Packers last year. Okay. Manning's overall record as a starting quarterback in the NFL is 110 and 100. Manning has thrown for 334 touchdowns. Uh, he also has thrown for 222 interceptions. Manning has led the NFL 3 times in interceptions. 2007, he had 20. 2010, he had 25. 2013, he had 27. Okay. And if you look at what has happened this past year, because he has not been very good at all. So, to an extent, you can see what they were doing or what they called themselves doing, but Manning obviously was not the problem. He's not the problem. And my thing about with Eli Manning is, and because where do you put him? Because as his career is starting to wane and is starting to get into the twilight years of his career, him and guys like Philip Rivers and Big Ben Roethlisberger, them guys, guys are enjoying some success. Enjoying success later in their careers, and all of those quarterbacks came out in the 2004 draft. And so it's really something that, of course, Eli is struggling because it's really hard. You have your best receiver and he's not playing, and you're supposed to have your second best receiver and he's not playing. You don't have a running game or anything like that, so it's a lot to put on this guy. Should he have been benched? No, just let it play out and then come back, scrap it, and just okay, what we're going to do, and go back. And then if we visit this time in the fifth or sixth game of the season, in 2018, and they're you know 1-5, okay, then that's when you start. Okay, then we got to make a move. But this really wasn't any reason for doing that. But at the same time, it makes you want to think: is Eli finished in New York? Will he do he want to be still in New York after this embarrassment to him? And like I said, his man just ain't really no other regular quarterback. He comes from the royal family of the Mannings and all the things that come along with that. So it's a lot of pride and stuff like that. It definitely was hurt. But at the same time, like I said, plenty of times, because people, is Manning an elite quarterback? Eli can be very elite at times, and other times Eli looks like an average quarterback, and that's just the truth about it. That's why he's on the bubble as a Hall of Famer. He's not going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but for some reason they're going to end up getting him in second or third chance. And if he wins another Super Bowl, he'll probably shoot to the top. But he may, I don't think the first ballot, maybe we'll probably put him in on the second ballot. Uh, Eli does not really have a great regular season. He has, a great regular season. I think 2015, from a statistic standpoint of view, that probably was like his best year, if I'm not mistaken. But but at the same time, it's like with Manning, he, it's always the stigma of like he just kind of just like he just doesn't have no emotion or anything like that. But but Manning has always been a solid quarterback, and he's definitely he can be, it can be ice, ice vein, ice cold up in his vein and stuff when he's going for the kill, when he's rolling, when he's playing really good, especially when he hits the playoffs, because he's just like, I got to go through this whole 16 season thing, but I just want to get to the playoffs because that's why I shine. Because it seems like the more pressure, that's when he actually excels. But you do have to examine these things when you're talking about these quarterbacks. And like I said, you're talking about since 2012, Manning is 41-50 as a starter. One playoff appearance, one, and that's it. And that's all that's happened since 2000, since 2012. You know what I'm saying? Which that's the year before the last, the of the coming off of the coming off of that of the Super Bowl that they beat the Pats in. So so you have to start evaluating these things as Manning is 36, 37 years old, is getting close to 40 years old. So therefore, you have to start examining these things and what he has done. And this is a league of what have you done for me lately? And lately, Manning, for the most part, has not done well since starting from 2012 up to 2017. Like I said, and I keep saying this, and like I said, people can, whatever. You can go back to 2011 on back up to 2004 when he got drafted. That's fine. I'm talking about right now. 41-50. That's a 41-50. That's a losing record. That's a losing record. That's what 9 games under 500. That's not good at all. And he's only 10 games over 500. 10 games over 500. Because even if they would have probably played the other day, I don't, maybe would have done better than Geno Smith. Maybe, probably, they may have would have won the game. Who knows? But that is what Manning's record is. And you really can't, even though they, but like I said, he did not deserve to be benched. That just didn't make any sense, just based upon what he's done for that franchise. So he shouldn't have never been benched. However, at the same time, as just looking at the overall spectrum of things, you're going to have to evaluate him because he hasn't done anything for you lately. He hasn't done anything for you at all, for the most part, and they may need to blow that team up altogether. But which is crazy because they was, I said, like 11-5 last year. Their defense was scary, and just a few pieces here and there in a running game, and they was going to be something to contend with. And all of a sudden, it all just went to hell. But they have to evaluate Eli Manning on what's going to be happening with him because like I said, when you get down to the scheme of things, and I keep saying this, when you get down to the scheme of things, it's about what have you done for me lately in this particular league. And Eli Manning has not done anything lately for the New York Giants at all. Now, you can rest on what he did in the past, but over the past 5 to 6 years, Eli Manning hasn't done anything spectacular as that of a quarterback whatsoever. You know, and that's something that they're going to have to look at, and something Manning's going to have to look in the mirror himself because the numbers don't lie. So I have to look at that. So check me out. Check me out on Everything Football 62 on YouTube channel. Check me out. Leave some comments or whatever. Go to Everything Football 62 on Tupman 62 on Twitter and come a follower, what have you, and check out some of the things there. All right, we'll be back in a few minutes. Thanks.